Now, the concept of upset is optional. How does this apply to managing our anxiety?
Well, so everyone knows there is suffering in the world, and there always will be. We spend a lot of time and effort trying to eliminate that. But in the meantime, we can also generate our own upset, which causes enormous stress on your body and results in health issues often, even if it's just that you walk around with your shoulders hunched up all day long. And I think what we fail to realize is that our body is smarter than our brain. And when we are walking through the world in times like we are now, we aren't able to connect the fact that the language that we use, that we hear, what's happening around us is actually impacting our body dramatically. So the trick is how can I teach my body to be aware and train myself through practice to not actually let myself get so upset that I can get sick?
Yeah, it's kind of a mind over matter type of thing.
A little like that, yes. It's except that it's not just walking away from it in your mind, like I just won't have that thought anymore. It's like Bob used to say, he had a patient that had asthma, and he said, the patient said, asthma is my teacher. So when an asthma attack would start to come on for this gentleman, he would sit back and think and breathe and realize that something in his life that was happening to him was impacting it, and he could stop the asthma attack by interrupting what was happening in his life.
Wow. So these strategies that you have in the book, people can use this stuff to kind of manage anxiety. How do they do this?
I always start with deep breathing. I've been doing a lot of that this week.
Okay.
Just to be able to really sit down and actually feel your breath in your belly. They say something doing well is worth doing all the time. And obviously we breathe all the time. We just don't do it consciously. So to sit down and actually, we've had a political situation going on in our world. And so if you find yourself in a place where you are feeling overwhelmed, just stop, sit down, breathe deeply, and practice that throughout the day. So that's just one of the great ways of getting more familiar with what's happening in your body and where your anxiety shows up. For me, it's a spot at the top of my stomach, and that spot used to create an ulcer. So I can actually breathe and I can relax my body.
Oh, very good. Karen Howard, the author of Upset is Optional, is with us this morning on the WCUB Breakfast Club. You talk about creating what you identify as a word wall to kind of change people's language patterns a little bit. What do you mean by this?
So I think we all talk to ourselves all throughout the day. When I'm upset, I have lots of words. I'm a political junkie. I live in Washington, D.C. So I've been watching politics for years, and I can start to hear them, and I'm like, oh, that's rumbling around. So I've replaced words. In the early days of this campaign, I started calling the two gentlemen running for president Martha Washington and Mary Todd Lincoln. And people were confused because they didn't know who to be upset with. I can turn a word like moron into that's interesting. So you can actually create a wall of words. It's like, I'd like to lose that word, and what would you replace it with? It can be nonsensical. It could be a 180 switch, but it's just something that you can literally turn a switch, and whether you're saying it out loud or to yourself, it makes an instant reaction in your body.
Okay. A little bit of a more positive reaction.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have something as well that you call daily intentions. Now, how does setting daily intentions help alleviate anxiety?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways to do that. One is you can design your mood for the day. So if you practice it every morning before I get up out of bed, before my feet hit the floor, I'm designing my mood to be peaceful. That's my practice. If I forget and I'm walking the dog, I'm like, oh, today I'm going to be peaceful. And then find little ways to remind yourself that you're supposed to be in that mood. Sometimes I put my watch on the wrong arm. I'm like, why is my watch? Oh, yes, my day is supposed to be peaceful. And do a body check-in. Are you being peaceful? So you can do that. You can put sticky notes up. I've written it on my mirror in my bathroom, lipstick. I've had things on my horn just to keep you kind of remembering, because this does take practice. It's not something you can do one day and maybe the fifth day. if you can do it every single day, it becomes part of your routine, and it makes an entire difference. So you can bring your body back to your design mood when you need to.
It's almost like changing a lifestyle, kind of a little bit like getting an exercise program that you got to teach yourself to stick to all the time.
Yeah, if you think about it, like if you think about sit-ups, you can do, I'll start and I can do 5 or 10, and then I'm like, I can't do that anymore. And by the end of a month, you're probably doing 50 and you don't even notice it. So that's really, you're exercising your body to pay attention to, you're learning how language is impacting your body and where it hits you. And that's why it does take practice.
And Karen, if somebody's feeling a little overwhelmed right now by all their circumstances going on in life, how can they be reassured that their life, in fact, matters?
I think we have to look at this in the long game, right? So
Yeah.
my strategy for that is I work for the Organic and Natural Health Association. I've done this for 10 years. I love my job, and I love it for this reason. I'm honoring all the work that has come before me for 3 generations, the organic farmers, the people who champion the regulations that we abide to for supplements in food. And I'm doing that to serve generations, the 3 ahead of me, that I may never know. So if you can find that spot where everyone wants to have value in their work. And so when you're looking for something that has meaning, see if you can relate it to something that's bigger than you, because we're in one moment at a time. And one moment at a time, it is like there are generations that count on us to be our best. And there are people that we owe that obligation to who got us to where we are today. And if you reframe that in a way that's meaningful, and you can do that every day, or you can do it, as you're moving through difficult situations with family and friends, and take that bigger picture of it, like this is just a moment, then I think you find great peace and great satisfaction in what it is you're doing.
That's fantastic stuff, Karen. Karen is the CEO and Executive Director of Organic and Natural Health Association and author of Upset is Optional. Say goodbye to unnecessary suffering. Available at Amazon and where all good reads are sold. Where can people get more info about you or the book?
You can go to upsetisoptional.com and you'll learn more about Bob and his work, and be able to link to the site to buy the book as well.
All right. Hey, Karen Howard, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.